brought together experts, I like to think, from all over Europe for this evening's event. So first of all, we have Giuseppe Piva, who is sitting over there. He is a third-generation antique dealer and owner of the Giuseppe Piva Gallery in Milan, which specializes in antique Japanese art, samurai arms and armor, folding screens, lacquer, and presumably also Jizai Okimono. And so he's going to start off by explaining what this category of art is.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. As often happens with the Japanese art, we don't really have a lot of documentations from Japan, so we have to proceed with the signatures, with dates, and just with our eyes to try to understand what happens in this field. First of all, what are Jizai Okimono? Jizai Okimono, which is a very recent term anyway, I will explain later, are articulated figures originally made just in iron, then in the late Edo period and Meiji period and other materials, representing animals like snakes, lobsters, crows, insects, and the characteristic of these small sculptures is that they are all movable. The limbs, the bodies can move as if the animal was alive. We have different kind of Jizai Okimono in the Edo period, and they were all made in iron. They are of different size. They can be just a few centimeters, but they can reach 1 meter and over for snakes and dragons. And they can be many parts, like this example, or just a few movable parts. It really depends on the animal. We have here shrimp, Japanese shrimp. Again, Edo period. These are more modern insects. We have a carp. Again, this is Meiji period, but all made in iron. The term Jizai Okimono is quite modern, as I said. We have, in 1893, during the Chicago World's Columbian Exposition, there was a craftsman exhibiting contemporary Jizai Okimono, and the piece was described as Kushin Jizai Tsubasa no Okimono, and that's the first documentation of the word Jizai Okimono, so late, very late 19th century. Again, we see the same result, the same award in 1911 on a box of a snake bought from the Tokyo National Museum. While the only original box with a Jizai Okimono inside from the Edo period just describe it as a paperweight, bunshin. We don't really know why, but that's it. The oldest known dated Jizai Okimono, it's this massive dragon which is now in the Tokyo National Museum, and it's dated, as you see, 1713, and it's signed by Myochin Muniaki. It's a very big one, as you can see, and it's probably the best old Jizai Okimono. It's 1 meter 35. So let's get back to that name, Myochin Muniaki, because the Myochin family is the key of the origin of Jizai Okimono. The Murchin family is a family of armorers, the largest group of armorers of Japan during the Edo period. As you can see, they were masters in hammering and molding iron. This is a pair of kote from an armor dated 1723, so very close to the dragon we have seen before. What happened about this age is that after 100 years of peace, armors were not really that demanded in Japan. Of course, the samurai were on command in Japan, so they had to use armors for official events or the parades, but the armorers had hard times in selling their items, so they just switched to other iron artwork, like tea kettle for the tea ceremony, tsuba handguards for swords, and our Jizai Okimono. And at the beginning, they were really, really masterpieces. If we see 18th century Jizai Okimono, they are absolutely astonishing. There are really, really few of them. But when you have seen some, you immediately recognize an old one from 19th century one, because the quality, the ability just was diminishing during the year. This is a late 19th century lobster. It's a steel Edo, I believe, but the quality is completely different from what we see 100 years before. So the Murchin family continued working on Jizai Okimono for all the Edo period. But when the shogunate ended, and in 1876, the samurai came to an end, they just closed their workshop, and they didn't work anymore, almost. So what happens in the Meiji period is a switch in the market of Jizai Okimono, because the Murchin closed their workshop, and the Tomiki family and the Kozan workshop opened their workshop only for Jizai Okimono and for selling them mainly outside of Japan. We know in the Meiji period is when the rest of the world discovered Japan and their incredible craftsmen. They didn't have the Industrial Revolution, so when the Japanese craftsmen came to America and Europe, they had an ability in their hands that here was completely lost. So they were doing incredible works. So this is how they switched, and an important thing is that iron is not anymore the main metal used, because iron is very hard and difficult to work. So they switched to a copper, silver, and more light metals. If you have any question, you can just ask.
So maybe let's save up the questions
Okay.
until the end, because we're going to have...
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that might be easier. Next we're going to have a sort of double act, or arguably a triple act, or even a quadruple act. So Haruo Mitsuta is going to give a presentation, but also along with him, his gallerist, Tsutomu Ikeuchi, is going to chip in the middle and give his views on some of this work. And then after that, Manuela Moscatiello is going to make some comments and start the discussion off, I think. So, Mitsuta-san. And I'm going to translate for, certainly for Mitsuta-san. So this is quick film first.
皆さんこんにちは、紹介に預かりましたミスターハローです。
So good evening, my name is Haruo Mitsuta.
まず今回この展覧会自在の開催というチャンスをいただきまして代表のジェイソンさん、または、今退職なさっていますが、直接お話しいただいた小川さん、展覧会担当の太田さん、こまごまと手伝っていただいたアリーチェさん、さらには作品入国の際トラブルを回避していただいたクリスさんほか、大和日英基金の皆様に心より感謝を申し上げたいと思います。
So first of all, I'd like to thank all the people at the Daiwa Foundation who helped me and gave me the opportunity to put on this exhibition. Jason, that's me. Shihoko Ogawa, who's now actually left the foundation, but who originally sorted out this exhibition, and Nana Ota, who's been in charge of it more recently, and her colleague Alice, also sitting up the front, and Chris, I don't know if he's here, but, who's also given me a great deal of help.
下の階のギャラリーでご覧いただいた作品は一部コラボレーション作品はありますが、すべて僕が制作したものです。
So all of the work you can see, and I hope you have seen, in the two gallery rooms downstairs were made by me. They do include one or two collaborations, but they're essentially all my work.
僕は美術大学を卒業して以降、時代置物の作家として10年以上活動しています。時代置物に特化した、制作者という意味においては、僕はただ一人であると思います。
So since I graduated from art college, I've been working making Jizai Okimono for over 10 years, and I believe that I'm the only artist who specializes in making Jizai Okimono.
僕は1980年に日本の、西部にある鳥取県の米子市というところで生まれました。今年で39歳になります。
So I was born in 1980 in Yonago City in Tottori Prefecture in the west of Japan. So I will be 39 this year.
その後東京の隣にある千葉県に移りました。
So later I moved to Chiba Prefecture, which is next to Tokyo.
2002年に東京国立の美術学校である東京芸術大学で6年間金工を学び、修士まで収めました。在学中に日本の伝統工芸である時代置物に出会い、魅了され、その制作に携わります。
So I studied for 6 years metalwork at Tokyo University of the Arts, often known as Geidai, which is a national university in Japan. So 6 years took me up to my master's degree. And while I was a student there, I discovered Jizai Okimono, this traditional Japanese craft, and became fascinated by it and started producing these works.
時代置物の基本的なことについては先ほどピーバーさんの説明の通りです。ピーバーさんありがとうございます。
So Giuseppe Piva has already explained the basics about Jizai Okimono, so thank you very much for your explanation.
さて、その自在置物制作者たちの中で歴史的に名家と言われる家が2つあります。それは明珍と高瀬鉱山と言います。
So there were two key families involved in the production of Jizai Okimono, the Myojin family, which Giuseppe mentioned, and the Takase family.
明珍家は鉄を使った作品を作り、高瀬鉱山は非鉄金属、すなわち銅や銀を使って作っていました。
So the Myojin family used iron to create his work, whereas the Takase family used non-ferrous metals like copper and silver.
僕はその2つの家のうち、高瀬家の最後の職人から学生時代より自在置物の基本的な技法を伝授してもらいました。
So of those two families, I learned the basic techniques of making Jizai Okimono from the last craftsman of the Takase family while I was a student.
さらに卒業後もことあるごとにアドバイスをいただき、制作にさまざまなアイデアを投げかけていただきました。
So also after I graduated, I continued to ask him for advice, and he gave me various new ideas and things to work on.
残念ながらその師匠は数年前に亡くなり、自在置物職人高瀬鉱山の家は現在途絶えた形になっています。
Unfortunately, that person died a few years ago, and so the Takase family has actually died out as makers of Jizai Okimono.
僕は元から、虫や動物が非常に好きで捕まえて観察するといったことを子供の頃からしていました。
So personally, I love insects and animals, and ever since I was a child, I've been catching them and observing them.
その僕が大学時代に歴史的にほぼ途絶えてしまった自在置物を発見し、それに取りつかれてしまったというのは不思議なことではありませんでした。
So I think it's not at all strange that when I discovered Jizai Okimono during my university days, I was enthralled by them.
けれども、保守的な日本の美術の世界では金工という技法はオリジナルのデザインによる使えるものを良しとしており、残念なことに自在置物は教授たちからは決して高い評価はされませんでした。
So unfortunately, the Japanese art world is quite conservative, and the feeling among my teachers was that metal working should be used to make original things that are useful. So they didn't appreciate my Jizai Okimono at all.
ここである大学の先輩がそこにいる画商の池内さんを紹介してくれました。
So then one of my seniors at university introduced me to Mr. Ikeuchi. This is Mr. Ikeuchi here.
池内さんは自在置物を本来自由な表現の受け皿である現代美術の世界で発表することによってその広がりを作ることを考え、僕に美術作家として本格的なデビューの場を与えてくれました。
So Mr. Ikeuchi thought that contemporary art is supposed to be a field for free expression, and he thought that Jizai Okimono would be able to create an expansion in that field. So he helped me get my start off as an artist.
それは2008年のことです。この年、東京国立博物館の学芸員の監修のもと、自在置物の、研究所が出版されました。
So that was in 2008, and also in 2008 this book came out, which was the first formal book of research on Jizai Okimono. It was published under the supervision of a curator at the Tokyo National Museum.
驚くべきことにこれは100年を超える歴史を持つ自在置物についての初めてのまとまった書物でした。
So surprisingly, although Jizai Okimono have a history of more than 100 years, this was the first book that had ever been published about them.
また同じ頃、国際的なオークションにおいて、ある自在置物の作品が非常に高い評価を受け、この頃から自在置物を中心とした比較的マニアックに見られていた、明治時代の高度な金工作品が日本の国内で広く注目されることとなりました。
So also at around the same time, there was a Jizai Okimono that sold for an extremely high price at an international auction. And so this kind of sophisticated metalwork, including Jizai Okimono, began to attract a fanatical fan base of people who collected this Meiji period work, and it began to attract a lot of attention in Japan.
つまり、時代置物自体が世界に再評価されてからまだ10年そこそこしか経っていないのです。
So in other words, it's only around 10 years ago that Jizai Okimono really started to be reappraised in the art world.
それらの末裔として僕の作品もその時代の名品と呼ばれる作品と一緒に美術館に展示されるチャンスをももらえるようになりました。
So since I was the descendant, as it were, of the last Jizai Okimono creator of this Takase family, I was also able to have the opportunity to show my work in museums alongside the historical pieces.
以降僕は、毎年の個展に加えいくつものグループ展やアートフェアに作品を発表するために日々忙しく制作活動をしています。
So since then I've been very busy doing solo exhibitions and taking part in group shows and also showing my work at exhibitions and art fairs.
この展覧会のオープニングに参加できなかったのもそのためです。すいません。
So that's why I couldn't attend the opening of my exhibition downstairs. I'm sorry about that.
さてここで作品の制作過程を紹介したいと思います。その見本としてアゲハチョウの作品を見ていただきます。
So I'd like to show you a bit about how the process of making these items works. And as an example, I'm going to show you a swallowtail butterfly.
まず最初に、実際のモチーフを丁寧に観察し、形はもちろんのこと、動きをも正確に考慮しながらこうしたスケッチを制作します。
So I start by observing the original butterfly in this case closely, not only its structure but also how it moves, and I draw these preliminary sketches.
また素材も決定していきます。僕が基本的に使う素材は銅、青銅、真鍮ですが、作品によっては金や銀、など貴金属類、あるいは渋市と呼ばれる銀と銅の合金、赤銅と呼ばれるその後の作業で美しい黒色に発色する金と銅の合金も使うこともあります。
So then I decide on the material I'm going to use. My basic material is copper, and also bronze and brass. And depending on the work, I sometimes use precious metals in my alloys. So I use gold and silver, or I use a Japanese alloy called shibuichi, which is an alloy of copper and silver. And I also use shakudo, which is an alloy of gold and copper. And these latter alloys develop a beautiful black color when you treat them mechanically.
スケッチに基づいて金属板を切り出しているところです。素材によっては切り出すだけでも、大変なものもあります。
So here, this copper plate or metal plate is being cut out into the shape of the butterfly's wing. And depending on the material I'm using, it's sometimes very hard work just to cut these shapes. そういうことじゃないですね。Okay, well, we've lost one of the slides for some reason.
銅の部分を制作しているところです。
So, okay, this is making the body butterfly.
羽と胴体、足などの接続をしているところです。Jizai Okimonoの最も魅力的な部分ですが、同時に一番難しい部分とも言えるでしょう。
So in this slide, I'm connecting together the wings and the body and the legs. This is the most attractive thing about Jizai Okimono, but it's also the most difficult to do.
単に関節をつなぐだけでなく、その関節の動く範囲も、モチーフ通りに制限しなければいけません。また、部品と部品の接続を見えないように加工するということもこの作業で行います。
So as well as connecting the joints of the insect together, you have to limit its movements so that it can only move in the directions that the actual butterfly would be able to move. And also, you have to make the connection of the parts invisible.
色上げと呼ばれる金属の化学反応によって色をつけていく作業です。僕は基本的に絵の具などを使って金属に色をつけることはしません。
So this is a process of coloring the butterfly using a chemical process, and I don't use any paints or anything like that.
金属は、酸化や硫化といった作用で金属の種類それぞれに独特の色の変化をします。その反応によって得られる色彩を作品の色として利用します。
So the metal will change color if it's either oxidized or sulfurated, and depending on the type of metal that you use. So this kind of reaction is how the work is colored.
ここで冒頭の動画をもう一度ご覧ください。作業の流れをより分かりやすく見ていただけると思います。
So let's look at the video that we saw at the beginning again, and I think you'll be able to understand the workflow better.
そしてすべての部品が完成し、これらは自在置物の作品として組み立てられます。
So this is showing all of the finished parts of the work, and when you assemble it, that becomes the Jizai Okimono.
作品を作りながら生物学的、文化的意味を考えます。そしてこの考察をもとにインスタレーション作品を作っていきます。
So while I'm making it, I think of the biological and artistic significance of what I'm doing, and I turn that into an artistic installation.
ここからは少し池内さんにバトンタッチします。
So now I'm going to pass over to Mr. Ikeuchi for a while, and I think I'm getting a rest.
Try. Hello. I'm Ikeuchi, I'm manager of Haruo Mitsuta and representative director of Röntgen Bokeh, a contemporary art gallery in Tokyo. It is a pleasure to meeting you. Thank you very much. Mitsuta has created a few such installation works in the past. And I think that each one of the Jizai Okimono works in the image shown area is enough for you to get a sense of life. But through this kind of installation work, Mitsuta is questioning more about life. So this work was displayed in the Mori Art Museum in 2013, titled "You May," which means the world after this and the actual world. The metal lead spider lily on which butterflies sit was also made by hand of Mitsuta. Red spider lilies bloom in the autumn equinoctial week, so they suggest the world after death. On the other hand, the flock of butterflies that are bustling on the petals can be said to be a symbol of trying to live beautifully. So their lives are short of time. So this is a simple installation, simple installation work entitled "Angel" in the Nirvana. A crane fly perched on an antique specimen bottle. This invokes the story of oneself trapped and confined as a specimen there, and shows its transience of life, as well as the shape of the motif. Next one. This is a little disturbing work, but it's an installation entitled Sapphire. So, combining the Jizai Okimono of a warfroach, which is the devouring carrion, and a real boar bone. So it is not easy to look at the elements that describe the essence of living, the legals of life, ransomed by death, or the joy of eating. Okay? Next one. This is called Uso Muso, means the existence and non-existence. You saw downstairs, the title is one of the words of Buddhism. It describes existence that has form and the truth of an existence which was shown by Paul. It is word that shows the phenomenon and the truth. While losing the appearance of the individual by being a frog, there is a firm individual. Our society and the way of our living are expressed by intertwining with the mysterious form of the spider crickets. The combined boxes seems to have that contain the teapot or something like that, probably from about 500 years ago. This is the metaphor of eternity coupled with intertwined insects, suggesting that time and life are inseparable. In combination with these various illustrations, Mitsuta has shown us various forms of life and death. Originally, craftsmen who had previously made arms and armor, that is, to kill humans, created Jizai Okimono. Haruo Mitsuta highly developed so that he could achieve an expression of life and death, symbolically and conversely. In a word, it is safely said that his technique itself is supporting the concept. On the other hand, Haruo Mitsuta is also attempt to realize a variety of the new ideas. I will return to the bottom back to him again. Thank you very much.
この画像の作品は「鳳凰」と題した、2015年に発表したうずらの骨の自在を要素とした輪廻を象徴するインスタレーション作品です。
So this picture shows an installation from 2015, which is called Haruo, which means phoenix in Japanese, and it symbolizes the transmigration of souls. And it's actually two skeletons of quails, obviously made as Jizai Okimono.
今回の展覧会でもうずらの骨による作品はお見せしてますが、この作品で初めて骨による自在置物を発表しました。
So this was the first Jizai Okimono I made of bones rather than a sort of living creature.
歴史的に自在置物に骨をモチーフにしたものは存在しません。僕は骨を象徴する死をもって自在置物が元来表現しようとしている命を表現しようと考えました。
So historically, you didn't get Jizai Okimono, which were of bones like this, but I'm trying to use these bones to show life.
これもギャラリーでご覧いただいている蛇の骨の自在置物です。500個を超える部品から組み立てています。
So this work you can see in the gallery downstairs. It's obviously the skeleton of a snake, again a Jizai Okimono. This has more than 500 components, and it's the work that took me the most time.
僕の、最も手のかかっている作品です。ディティールの隅々まで見ていただけたらと思います。
So I hope you'll look very carefully at all the detail.
また、漆で有名な日本の中部にある、石川県輪島市の蒔絵職人、 若宮さんとの共同制作の作品も展示しています。
So this work, which is also downstairs, is a collaboration together with an artist called Wakamiya Takashi, who is a makie and raden, shell inlay. So makie is gold dust, and shell inlay craftsman from Wajima, a very famous area for the production of lacquer in Ishikawa Prefecture in central Japan.
蒔絵や螺鈿という金工とは全く異なる技法を作品に取り込み、より、細やかかつ華やかな作品の発表を数年前から始めています。これらもお楽しみください。
So by incorporating into my work these totally different techniques of raden or shell inlay and makie, the gold dust decoration, I've been able to produce more elaborate and more ornate work in recent years. So I hope you'll enjoy these as well.
僕のプレゼンテーションはここまでです。最後までありがとうございました。
So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. We're now going to pass the baton to Manuela Moscatiello. Do you want to come over here? Feel free.
As you want.
Yeah, that might be easier because you're technically chairing this, so you can chair the Q&A as well. I should just briefly introduce her though. So she's responsible for the Japanese art collections at the Musée, am I pronouncing this right? Cernuschi in Paris, where she's been since 2016. And she's researched widely, particularly France-Japan relations and Meiji period Japanese art and published on that subject. So I'll hand over to you, Manuela, and you can take charge here.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much to the Daiwa Foundation for inviting me today. And thank you to Mr. Piva for his introduction to Jizai Okimono history and origins. And thank you so much to Mitsuta Sensei and Ikeuchi-san for their fascinating immersion in Mitsuta-san aesthetics and techniques. I would like just to add some personal remarks about Jizai Okimono. As explained previously by Mrs. Piva, Jizai Okimono are said to have been invented in the 18th century, in the middle of the Edo period. As you know, the Edo period was a period of peace and isolation, even if we cannot talk about a complete isolation. Japanese intellectuals, but also artists, were interested in rangaku, a word usually translated by Dutch learning, so as to be able to learn Western technology. Among the principal areas of interest, there were medical and physical sciences, as well mechanical science, geography, and biology. In the 18th century, positivism became immensely influential in all the fields of studies. As a result, many inventions have seen the light. One example is Karakuri Ningyo, inspired by mechanical clocks introduced by Europeans, Portuguese or Spanish in the 16th centuries. Then Japanese artisans developed this craft in an original, unique way. Karakuri Ningyo are automata powered by spring mechanisms similar of those of clocks in order to move the head and the body. Their main attraction is to imitate the human being's movement. I wonder if the 18th century deep interest for real-world phenomena is connected to the origin of Jizai Okimono, and especially to the desire to investigate an animal behavior and movement. But of course, Jizai Okimono are without any doubt a Japanese typical and unique sophisticated art. These ingenious movable sculptures, or real and sometimes of mythical animals, beasts, attract the attention of Western amateurs since the last quarter of the 19th century, So that's why Japanese statuettes belong today to important European and American institutions such as the British Museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, and the Metropolitan Museum. The collection of the Cernuschi Museum in Paris, where I'm the curator for Japanese arts, has just one Jizai Okimono. This is a Meiji era okimono made in iron. It is the shape of a shachi. Shachi is a creature with a head in the shape of a tiger or a dragon and a body in the shape of a carp. And it is made with iron and a copper alloy. It was the former collection of the British poet Pauline Mary Tarn, also known as René Vivian, who probably traveled to Japan at the beginning of the 12th century. I would like now to talk about Mitsuta Sensei work. This afternoon I had the chance to admire his work for the second time in my life. The first one was about 3 years ago at the Mitsui Memorial Museum in Tokyo, on the occasion of the exhibition Amazing Craftsmanship from Meiji Koge to Contemporary Art, from Meiji Applied Art to Contemporary Art. When I visited the show, I already knew most of the Meiji artwork displayed. They belong to the Kiyomizu Sannenzaka Museum in Kyoto, a museum I visited many times, which has a remarkable Meiji-era collection of bronzes, among which Jizai Okimono, of course, cloisonné, lacquer, and ivory carvings. The exhibition, the Tokyo exhibition, in the Tokyo exhibition there were works by many contemporary artists, and I was impressed by the high quality of their works, and in particular by Mitsuta Sensei Jizai sculpture. They were so small but so sophisticated. They were so strongly connected with Jizai Okimono tradition. I remember I was fascinated by their naturalism and the extreme precision of each detail. They were presented 12 insects. They looked like alive to my eyes, and they looked like as they had just landed on a plant leaf. It was evident for me the artist's engagement in the pursuit of perfection. His sculptures were comparable to the Meiji-era bronzes displayed in the exhibition. In the catalog's introduction, the curator, Yamashita Sensei, a very famous scholar in Japan, stated that the contemporary artists who participated to the event had without any doubt inherited the superlative craftsmanship DNA of their Meiji-era forebears. I agree with him, of course. In order to better understand and appreciate the beauty of Mitsuta Sensei work, I would like just to focus on some essential concepts. The first one, as mentioned previously by Ikeuchi-san, of course, is life. But you know, life and of course death, because death is part of life. Mitsuta Sensei has, I think, Mitsuta Sensei has the power to infuse life to metal through his sensibility and his technical skills. He creates statuettes into realistic shape of insect with a resistant material, using different kinds of metal, as copper, brass, and silver, in order to reproduce delicate animal beings. Another important concept is reality. I think Mitsuta-san has a keen sense of observation of reality. One of the main features of his sculpture is the anatomical correctness of each limb. He is able to explore and reproduce all the hidden joints and muscle. You know, if the limbs joined together are not in any way anatomically correct, the whole Jizai sculpture would not work. The third concept I would like to mention is animation. Mitsuta Sensei's ability to reproduce natural movement. And then the last one concept is time, or even timeless, or eternity if you want. Creating metal sculpture of short lifespan insects such as dragonfly, butterfly, or cicada, Mitsuta Sensei gives to these delicate beings eternal life. I would like just to ask him one question and maybe let you the opportunity to ask some questions to him. I'm really interested about his training. You know, he had the chance to have a training with the last craftsman of the Takase family. So, can you talk about your training, please?
その博士結果研修されたんですよね。それについてもう少し詳しく教えてくれますか。
師匠との出会いは本当に大学の研修旅行の最中に訪問先の一つとしてあったんですけど、そこで、初めて出会いました。
So I first met the master from the Takase family as part of a university study tour.
で自在置物自体は大学の日本の金工士で勉強してたので知ってたんですけど、師匠と会うことによって現代と明治の自在置物と僕とのリンクがちゃんと持てた。
So I was aware of the existence of Jizai Okimono because of my studies of Japanese art history at university, but when I actually met the master craftsman who was continuing this tradition, I suddenly saw the links between Meiji period history and him and me.
でその時にもう感動してその日のうちに弟子にしてくれっていう話を
So I was so moved by that experience that very day I said to him, please can you teach me?
で修行の期間は師匠は本当にいわゆる日本的な修行のさせ方をする方だったので全てのパーツと出来上がりとそれを作るまでの過程のもろもろのものを全部渡されて自分で考えろっていう教わり方です。
So while I was training, it was a very kind of Japanese approach to training, but the master gave me all the parts and the completed items and showed me the processes and told me to work it out for myself.
明治の自在置物はもう職人の世界だったので要は作り方っていうものが全部決まっていてそれを受け継ぐっていう形だったんですけどそれを現代でやるにあたって多分師匠はもう一歩先に行かせるためにそういう自分で考えるっていうことをさせてたのかなと思います。
So in the Meiji period, the way this tradition was passed down was that the method of making everything was fixed and you simply had to learn to repeat it. But I think the master that I learned from was keen to take it one step further than that by making me think about it myself.